Hello everybody, my name is Zen and welcome to my Season 28 guide for Diablo 3. Usually in these videos, I talk about how we're going to unlock the portrait frame and the pets as quickly as possible, but I think at this point we've been through 28 seasons of Diablo 3, and while I will touch on the seasonal journey and how to get all this stuff completed or parts of it completed to kind of speed things up, most of this guide, unlike my previous 27 seasons, is going to be focused on the seasonal effect, because I think that the altar that we get in this is super cool. I think season 28 is the best season that Diablo 3 has ever seen, and there's some really powerful things that we could do with this. It also means that the vast majority of this stuff, or anything that is difficult with the seasonal journey, is made trivial with the seasonal theme. So let's just quickly talk about this stuff before we jump in and I show you the theme. The main time constraints here that you're going to find in trying to get this done quick are the leveling 3 legendary gems to 70. The 3 conquests they're fairly easy this season, so I wouldn't really worry too much about that. And then you have the, where is it at? It's the one back here. So there's the whole use Kanai's cube to augment, or use an ancient legendary item, augment it with a 50 plus gem. In previous seasons, I would say, because you had to level 3 gems to 70, that you would get those 3 to 70, and then you use one of those to trash it and do the augment. You don't have to worry about that anymore as of last season, so, or even technically the season before that, but that's besides the point. For this season, we're not going to worry about trashing a gem, just level your gems up as you normally would. So in order to do the seasonal theme, and the reason why this season is so insane, you have to go to Tristram, and then while here, you'll see this little thing on the map up over here. Take a look at. This is the Altar of Rites, and it's basically a miniature skill tree with a linear price point per upgrade. And what I mean by that is each of these little nodes you can get has a predetermined price based on how many nodes you already have. So if you got, the first one here is going to cost a certain amount. I'll let you know some of the costs in a moment. A lot of them are irrelevant. Some of them are very relevant, and you'll have to keep an eye out. So let's see if we get the first one here. It costs, I think the first thing is like 10 reusable parts, which are the gray or the white crafting material. So you just need 10 of those. You don't even, normally at the start of a season, you go open up your challenge rift bag after doing that, and you get a bunch of materials. You don't even need that to get this first one. And it's great. Your kill streak timer duration and reward bonuses are doubled. So that means you're already going to level quick if you haven't done it yet. Then for the second thing, you can either branch off. You can go here or here. So this one has items have no level requirement. This is great if you open your challenge rift bag and you can upgrade a level 70 item to a level 70 legendary. And then you have a level 70 weapon that you can just run around with as soon as you get this. But it requires a flawless diamond, which is like kind of a low level diamond, and then some other stuff. So you kind of make a choice of where you want to go. Some of these are super powerful. So for example, at the bottom, you have double the chance to find a legendary item purchased from Kadala, or where's this one? Pets Pickup and Salvage. This is insane. Pets Pickup and Salvage common, magic, and rare items. So blue, yellow, and white items are all picked up by your pet and salvaged. You can also make it so your pets pick up Death's Breath. You can make it so you double the amount of Death's Breath. So essentially you're getting the Sage set bonus on here. Elite packs drop 1 additional progress orb. Increase the damage done to bosses by 50%. Gain immunity to crowd control effects. This is great if you're playing a monk this season and you're using the patterns of justice, because then you don't have to worry about being stunned at all. Gain passability means that you can walk through things. Progress orbs from Nephilim and Greater Rifts are picked up automatically within 60 yards. Like, there's a lot of stuff here. You can kind of see the path I took. I went boop, 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 and then I came down this way to get the pattern, because I wanted the extra legendaries from Kadala, and then you essentially can like head one direction and pick all these up. Now at the bottom of this tree are 3 potions. So you have Father, Sealed, and you get it. I can't see them because I don't have them unlocked. But they require a thing that we'll talk about in a moment, but they upgrade your potion. So for this one, when you drink a health potion, gain a random shrine or power pylon effect, which is insane. When you drink a health potion, all enemies within 25 yards deal 25% less damage, or, well, I shouldn't say or, is and. When you drink your health potion, you manifest one of 3 runic circles on the ground, grant increased damage, increased cooldown reduction, or increased resource cost reduction. So pretty crazy effects. And then at the very bottom, when a primal item drops, a second random primal item will drop as well. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. You have to unlock all that to get this. And if you unlock all this, you get a really cool set of new wings. I call it wings. They're not like wings per se, not as much as like these are the cool pre-ordered for Diablo 4 wings. They're not like wings. They're different, but they're really, really cool. And I do recommend trying to get all of this unlocked to unlock those, especially because I doubt you'll ever be able to get them again. But as you can tell, there's a lot of very powerful stuff here. But that also means that the costs you have to keep an eye out for. You can find the whole cost list on the official blog that came out for Season 28. But things that you want to watch out for that you're going to want to save are things like your petrified screams, which is what you're going to use to get the bloodstones, I think is what they're called. Or the stones that you're essentially at the end, you get a stone for how high of a wave you cleared through the petrified screams, and you can use that to augment your item. So like, for example, I just did a quick one. I got rank 115 on it, and then I could use that for my augment. So that's why you don't have to trash your gems, like I was saying earlier. But you're going to want to watch out for having a puzzle ring, an ancient puzzle ring. We'll talk about this in a moment. There's a cool little trick you can do to get past this one, because this is kind of a blocker. Or you're going to need like a challenge rift bag at one point to unlock one of these. I've already done that. Or like an ancient hellfire amulet. That's obviously fairly easy to do, but some of them not so much. Like you need a Ramalandi's gift and 20 greater rift keystones for one of the ranks. And like a ring of royal grandeur for one of the ranks, but that's not so bad because you have this bountiful one, double the amount of bounty caches that drop from completing bounties. I actually made a mistake here. So when I went down, I'm just going to warn you on this one. So if you happen to take the same path I did, when I went down, I just went straight like that. And then I worked my way over to Omen, and then I realized that I could get essentially down over to here, but I probably should have, because I think I went with Husk first. I really should have just beelined it for Bountiful as well, because you need so many bounty mats, as you can see here, that for this particular rank, I need 50 of each, but for previous ranks, I think you need 10, and then I think there's another one for 20 of each or something like that. Or it might be 30. I think it's 30 of each. So there's a lot of stuff here. And there's ones that I don't even have unlocked. Like a Staff of Hurting is so annoying. Or an augmented weapon, which you can use the Petrified Scream for. There's a bunch of stuff going on for getting these things unlocked. Or I think one of them is if you do the Petrified Scream, which just, if you know what I'm talking about here, it's this item. You put it in the cube, it opens up a portal, you do waves of enemies. I think you need a rank 125 for one of them, which isn't so bad, but it is just another thing. So let's quickly talk about that ancient puzzle ring, because there's a trick you can do here. So this is another thing with this season. We're just going to grab a random primal that I have that I've been hoarding for this, and a puzzle ring. So when you go and you salvage a primal this time, you're not going to get souls anymore. You're gonna get primordial ashes, as you saw there. I now have 110 of them. You get 55 every time you salvage a primal item. You can use these ashes for unlocking stuff. So like at this point I have 110, so I could just kind of jaunt on over if I really wanted to. I could unlock a new potion effect, which would be quite powerful, but I don't want to sit here farming for this freaking ancient puzzle ring, because I have purchased so many. And you know what we'll do, just to show you, I'm just going to buy a bunch. And if I get one, oh my goodness, RNG gods. But I have had terrible RNG this entire season. It's taken me way longer to do anything. It wasn't until like day 3 of the season that I actually got any of the weapons that I needed for this build. It was terrible. It was very annoying, to be perfectly honest. And it's spoiled my season a little bit and my enjoyment of it, but we'll get there. So one thing you can do, this is a new pattern. You see it's up to 11 now. If you go all the way to the end, you have the upgrade legendary items. So you pop a legendary item in and 100 primordial ashes, which again are the things you get from doing the primal items salvaged, and you can upgrade it to a primal item. So we can fill that in and we can use it. Now I have a primal puzzle ring, and it shows you with this little icon. You can see either in the bottom right corner of the item or up in the little thumbnail for it, that it shows it is a crafted primal, a crafted one, which essentially means you can only have one of these equipped at any given time. So it's a cool thing that you could do to try to get one of your items, like one of your key items, upgraded like that. But yeah, it is totally only one thing that you can do. So now that I have this, it is a possibility for me to pick up a new rank, and I don't really have any particular one that I'm going for here. They're all fairly nice. I think I'm going to now work my way down this way and get the 25% melee damage reduction, and maybe get one of these. I don't really care about resource with this build I'm using, so it's going to be the last one I get. This is 25% missile damage reduction, which is pretty good, or increased damage against the elites by 15%. That's pretty good, but I think honestly the 20% damage, this one is 30%. So right here, you just get 50% extra damage. I think the Death's Breath doubled is okay. It's not, I have so many at this point. I have over 1,000 and I've been using them like nuts. So yeah, you got some options. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just unlock this one. So I hit the sacrifice button. Boom, I use that. It's one of the easiest ways to get around that. And then as you see, my next rank I already have unlocked here. So I'm going to get that 25%. And then I need 1,500 blood shards. I haven't even pushed Greater Rift, so that would be the next thing. But that's how that particular seasonal theme works. So just keep an eye out for stuff. Constantly go back there and look and make sure you know where you're going to be going next and what things you want to unlock. Outside of leveling your 3 gems to 70, doing your challenge rift. Actually, that's another thing I should mention is outside of the holding your challenge rift cash, because you're going to need one to sacrifice. So outside of that, you want to make sure that this season you stack up on a bunch of the set items. You want all 4 of your original sets. I almost said 3, but I mean all 4. So for Monk, it's Juliana's, Sun Wukong, the Raiment set, and then Ina's. You want at least 5 pieces of each, 5 because if you have the Ring of Royal Grandeur, and then you have to get these stupid pages to sacrifice for one of those ranks on the altar. And the way you do that is you go to Act 1, and then you go to Leoric's Manor Courtyard. I'm going to show you where this thing is just real quick. So right here is a tome of set dungeons. It's basically in the same place, I believe, every single time. And if you have the correct set equipped and you tap on it, it will drop a page. So for the Ina's one, it'll drop a page for telling you where the Ina's, it will give you a hint of where the Ina's set dungeon is located, or the Juliana set dungeon is located. And you get all 4 of those pages for your 4 original class sets. So for this particular season, this set doesn't count. The Patterns of Justice, or even any of the other sets for all of the other classes, any of the new sets, right? They don't count. But you come here and you get all 4 pages, and that will also be a sacrifice thing. So make sure you're holding on to all of your old set items, even if you're not using them, because you're going to want them. And of course, you're going to want at least 1 set to do the set dungeon, because that is a requirement for the seasonal journey as well. But most of those like old tricks that I was using for previous seasons, they either are completely subverted by the fact that you have so much power through the altar, or just don't really matter that much for this particular season. So level your 3 gems to 70. That's a big thing. Do your greater rifts. And then one final tip, I think it's in Conqueror. It might be one down from that. There is the thing to kill Asmodan, if I can find this. It's in one of these. Asmodan in less than a few seconds or something like that. Right here. Kill Asmodan in less than 30 seconds on Torment 13. It's really, really easy. The only thing that I have to mention this is if you do not get the effect on this, if you don't unlock this when you do it, it's because you just need to wait like 2 seconds. Just give him 2 seconds before you just absolutely murder him, because if you don't, it sometimes just doesn't pop up. I've seen a lot of people complaining about this. So just get into the fight, give him 2 seconds to kind of wiggle around, and then just go one-shot him, and then you'll be done. And then that's that. I believe the countdown does start from when you run into the room, though, so at least don't dawdle. I mean, you have 30 seconds. It's way more than enough that you'll ever need. And then, yeah, everything else, super freaking easy. Let's talk about Conquests real quick, because I mentioned those. These are the 3 I recommend. Speed Demon, so Torment 10 Rift within 2 minutes. Most classes can do this fairly easily, especially when you unlock the stuff that, some people get distracted and they want to pick things up when you're doing this. You don't pick things up when you're doing this, but with the new altar effects, your pet will pick things up for you most of the time. So it's just kind of nice to let that happen and just forget everything else. Unless you see a primal, then go pick up a primal. And if you didn't know, primals only start dropping once you do a 70 solo, a Greater Rift 70 solo, which you were guaranteed 1 primal through, and trash primals are good to have because you have to destroy them for getting the potion effects anyways. Then level 3 gems to 65. You're going to be doing that anyways to get them to 70. So this is kind of a null and void conquest. You essentially only have to complete 2 conquests this season, and then boss mode, which I'll put a link to in the description and in the comments. I have a guide on how to do this. It's even easier than before. Just the quick rundown is I go backwards in acts. That's just the way I'd work. So I go to Act 5, and I just hit up the 3 bosses here. So you run to Malthael, run to Urzael, run to Adria. This is all doable solo very easily. You just run there, kill the boss, move on to the next. If you happen to have other people in your game with you doing this, they need to be in the boss fight for them to get credit. So it's not like you can't split. You can't have a person run to Malthael and then run to Urzael and then have the person decline the Malthael invite and wait until you've killed that and then go to Urzael. If they want credit, they have to be at the Malthael fight to get credit for the Malthael kill. So the way that you do this with multiple people is you would have the person who ran to Urzael teleport back when the person is about to get to Malthael, which puts their portal down, and then after killing Malthael, they go back to town using the map. It's a weird little thing that you could do. So like if I go to Passage of Corvus and I go back to town using a portal, and I go and teleport somewhere else. Let's say I teleport to, the ruins of Corvus. If you use your map to teleport to the person, instead, basically your stuff is retained in town. It's like this weird thing. I can't do it without another person being here, but it's, again, go watch the guide if you're really interested in that. Otherwise, this season is freaking easy to complete. The portrait is pretty cool. The pet is really rad, but my wings are too rad and you cannot see them. Just how it is sometimes. The spell effects in Diablo are a little too much. The pet looks like this. It's really cool. I like him. He's a little camera shy. He doesn't like to be in frame. It's like that this season. There he goes. And then the portrait frame is also kind of cool. It's got a lot going on. It's not my favorite portrait frame that we've gotten, but it's pretty cool and I enjoy it. But with all that being said, this is an easy season, and it's definitely by far the best Diablo 3 season. And unless you're planning on returning to play more Diablo 3 seasons in the future, if you're going to pick up Diablo 4, this will likely be your final Diablo 3 season. Again, unless you come back and play through the next season that comes out. Because by the time the season 28 comes out, Diablo 4 will have released. So keep an eye out for Diablo 4 content on the channel. There'll be a bunch of it, of course. But with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Good luck with your season, and we shall see you all next time.